Next up, it's Media Watch with James Creedon. Hi, James.
Hi,
You can tell there's presidential election coming up. There's a bit of a sense of deja vu. We're talking about Nicolas Sarkozy again.
That's right. We definitely
the
are.
former president. Republican primaries coming up in not so long now. And Sarkozy causing a bit of a stir by telling immigrants that they need to accept that your ancestors, once you're here in France, are the Gauls.
That's right. That fictitious people, as the historians are telling us, we'll get to that. But so he said this at a rally on Monday, and he was in Calais today, also on the campaign trail, if you like. Again, the issue of immigration very much to the forefront, and migrants generally. But the sentence that really is dominating the media landscape right now is this one. As you said yourself, immigrants must accept your ancestors are the Gauls, and a huge amount of responses from historians and others. If I could find that tweet, basically, I seem to have lost it, but some saying, look, this is a history book, and actually Asterix and Obelix, which is a cartoon depicting the Gauls, is not a history book. It's actually sort of historical storytelling, if you like. So a lot of people doing some, just basic fact-checking of, are the ancestors of all French people Gauls? And I think the answer is quite clearly no. It was an invention during the Renaissance, a sort of, as Mathilde Larère, quite a well-known historian in France, points out. She said, look, even the geography of Gaul was a fiction created by the Romans, and the people, the Gauls, was also a sort of a fiction. In fact, there were many peoples, and it was across a territory that expanded into Switzerland, Belgium, parts of Italy, Spain, etc. So it's certainly not true that every French person is descended from the Gauls. This particular French guy, Karim Levour, saying, I'm French, I was born in Grenoble, my ancestors are Romans and Algerians, I'm definitely not sure about the Gauls. And so there was a lot of, I suppose, setting the record straight in that regard in the last couple of days on social media. Even some people casting Nicolas Sarkozy as one of Asterix and Obelix. I always get that mixed up, but there you go. It's quite the complex
Ancestors
picture.
are Hungarian, as far as I know.
They are indeed.
Anyway,
we'll get back to that because he did mention that today.
Okay, unsurprisingly, some of the other candidates in the Republican or Les Républicains primary having a bit of a go at Sarkozy.
That's right, because there's not much solidarity on the political right now, as they're vying with each other for the presidential ticket on the political right, even leading the Huffington Post French edition to refer to these primaries on the right as a kind of a powder keg, if you like, ready to explode. And one of the other candidates, Jean-François Copé, has been very critical of Nicolas Sarkozy's remarks about all French people or all French citizens having to accept their ancestors as the Gauls. He said this is a comment that is having the whole of Europe roaring with laughter. Could anyone imagine Angela Merkel declaring to the Germans, our ancestors, the Visigoths? So he basically said that he rapped Nicolas Sarkozy on the knuckles, if you like. And he also pointed out, which I've seen pointed out elsewhere, that at another campaign rally on the 24th of May last, so not a campaign rally, but some sort of a political meeting, he said the exact opposite. He said, we cannot, there is no question of making our students or our children recite in school that our ancestors are the Gauls. So clearly somebody else is writing his speeches right now than back in May, because he's changed his tune.
Sarkozy has spoken out about all
That's right. So it did create such a sort of a degree of reaction and criticism that he did respond to that. And he said, look, what I'm talking about is a national story, a sort of a national novel, if you like. He used the word roman, which means novel. And it doesn't necessarily match the historical truth. But he said, I'm the son of a Hungarian. His father, Nicolas Sarkozy's father, is Hungarian. And so for the son of a Hungarian or the son of an Algerian person, when you're in school, you need to be learning the French national story and not the Hungarian or the Algerian national story. In other words, we need to embrace the national myth, if you like. That's his argument, even if, I suppose, you have even historians now picking apart that myth. So it's all about assimilation. It's all about, under the French model, I suppose, forgetting your origins in order to embrace the French national identity.
Maybe everybody should just read Asterix.
Right.
Thanks very much, James. That was Media Watch. You're watching live from Paris here on France 24. More news coming up after the headlines. After this break, sorry. Oops.